going to be teaching you how you can make a like a 3D Blender animation. If like in my videos, if you haven't seen any of my animations, you might want to go watch them because otherwise you'll have no context in what is happening. So yeah, I'm doing this in a day because I've kind of been stressed doing commissions at the minute, so this is the only thing I can really think of that'll get people going. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, the first thing you should do is add a plane. So when you add a plane, it's going to be like the floor of it, right? So what you want to do, you want to click S, right? And you want to scale up like that. You just want to scale up really big till it hits the horizon, like that. Put it in like that. So as you can see, it's kind of like hitting the horizon, and you can really see it. But yeah, that's kind of the first step. And the next step is adding a sky. Now I'm going to leave a link to this. It's a plugin for Blender. If you haven't already got Blender, then you can literally just search up on Google and download it. It's literally for free. You don't even have to pay for it. So the first thing we need to do is add a world mesh, which I'm going to do in here. I'm going to go to create. And as you can see, there's a little box called dynamic sky. I'm going to create it. And when I create this, it's going to say, please select world, name dynamic 1. So here we're going to click world and click dynamic 1. And that should, in theory, create a sky. There you go. So now we have a sky. I'm taking this off cycles because I don't want to see that. Now we have a sky. As you can see, it's like a sky texture. Okay. There you go. Now there's a sky on it, right? You can customize this to whatever you want. At all. You can just do whatever you want with it. I'm going to keep it as it is. I might change the cloud opacity a bit. Sun control. More sunny. There you go. So now we have a sun. It should literally be fine by here. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a character, a skin. Now you can get whatever skin you want. Just search up a Blender pack. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to append a cloak shadow. I'm going to go to object and I'm going to select the MO. Normally GFX designers choose the AO because I don't know. But yeah, if I'm gonna choose the MO because that's what works for me. But if it doesn't have like orange bones on it like this, then choose the AO. It might work for you. Okay, now when you have your geezer in the software, you want to kind of do what you want with him. So the first thing I want to do is I want to kind of make him look good. So I'm gonna like edit his materials. If you come down to this little like domey dumper dupe, whatever the fuck it's called. Anyway. When you do that, then you want to go to his materials. These are all his materials. So I can change all these around. I could probably put his fucking there, yeah. But yeah, I'm going to edit his horns and that because I normally do that. So I'm on the horns. I'm going to go from surface to principle to emission. So it changes it to an emission where I can make it bright in that. And I'm going to change it to orange because it's color scheme like that. Now it's orange, not that bright. I don't want it to be crazy bright. Now I'm going to go to render properties. I'm going to turn on blue and this gives it that good look. Okay, so now when you have your character in here and he looks all good in that, or if you even edited him, that's just my personal preference. But next thing what we're going to do is we're going to animate him. Now animations, the tricky bit. So how to animate like the bones is when you're in an object mode. When this says up here object mode, you just want to change this to pose mode. So now you have all these bones, it's all green, red, and white, and that. And when you click one and change it to rotate, you can rotate his body around like that. So to actually animate him, you want to click this button down here, next to the arrow, down here. And you just want to click it, and now it should track all your keyframes. So at the start, I'm going to do a little bit of animation on his arms first. So I'm going to put the 10, pretty good 100, give it a bit more turn, like that. So now, he's animated, kind of, not fully yet, but yeah, that's that. Then you just want to do this to most of all the bones, make it look as realistic as possible, but only the main bones. So the arms, legs, head, animate the geezer's head. So now from a far away distance, this kind of looks real bad because I know it's gonna look bad. Yeah, it's only a couple bones moving, but yeah, that's that. Now you can animate literally anything that has a green, red, or white on it, and yeah, you can just animate anything like it. So I like just moving some of the fabric about, like the green ones, to give it more of like a realistic look. But yeah, you can literally do whatever you want. Like, there's no stopping you. Just make it look realistic. Otherwise, it's not going to be appreciated. But I'm just gonna skip ahead until I animate him fully. Yeah, see you in a bit. Okay, I'm back, and I've just done a rough animation. It's not looking very good at the minute. As you can see, there's a lot of bones that ain't moving. But normally, I'm just trying to do this just to show you guys how to do it. So, yeah, that's the animation done, really. Unless you want to just do whatever you want, you can literally do whatever you want here. The steps are still the same. Okay, the next thing we want to do is animate the camera. Select the camera, and you want to get into position wherever you want the camera to be. You want it to be up there, here, wherever you want to be. So you want to set where you're looking as where you want it to be. So I'm gonna put about there, maybe. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click Control Alt Numpad 0, and when you do that, it should snap this camera to the position where your viewport is. So on the camera, you can mess about with all the settings. It doesn't really matter that much. So I'm going to mess with the settings. So I like doing that. So here, I'm going to change the focal length to about 41 maybe. Or about like... But yeah, you can literally do whatever you want. It literally doesn't matter. I like turning on depth of field because it makes it look cool, you know. So I'm gonna focus on my ammo. So this geezer. So it's like that. So now he's kind of in frame and he's animated, kind of. Well, yeah, that's literally it for the animation. Now the next thing is we want to make this look pretty. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to animate this big boy geezer's eyes, because it's not animated, but I'm going to make it glow because I like doing that and it looks cool when I do it. So I'm going to go on his body, so his body. Then I'm going to click tab. And now, as you can see, we have like the selector. I can select like his eyes and that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new material. I'm going to name it like eyes or something. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get a new selector because you can't really select circles with boxes. So I'm going to click on the circle select, okay? Alright. Now what we're going to do is we're going to select the eyes. So you want to kind of just go over it until everything looks like everything is selected on the eyes. You don't have to worry about the background unless you select these, then it will fill it in. So yeah, when you've done this, you can just assign the eyes to it. So I'm going to click it. Now the eyes are a new texture. We can change the eyes to wherever we want. So I'm going to give them a mission. Now they're glowing, as you can see. That's real cool. And I'm going to make it like a orangey type color, like that. Now his eyes are glowing. Ah, wow. Okay, that's not good. You didn't see that. Okay, now we've done this. Yeah, you can do whatever you want now to customize the background. If you want to import objects and models and stuff, just go to File, Import, and import FBX and open wherever you just downloaded or whatever, like that. So you want to download it in FBX. OBJ is a file format that doesn't have like textures, so if you're not worried about textures, then yeah, you can use that as well. So I just imported something. I have zero clue what I just imported, but it's from my old video. I have no clue what this is at all, but oh, this thing. Okay, yeah, this is from my Lost in Sound. This is from my Lost in Sound montage. I'm gonna put this just somewhere. I have no clue where though. Let's put it like there. Actually, you know what? I'll leave this in the description. I'll put a media file. I'll put a media file link with this in the description for anyone who wants to kind of copy with me. I'll leave everything I use in the description because I'm a nice person and I'm very good. Obviously, you can duplicate it, which I'm going to do now. Place this, change its direction to like there, maybe. Put it over there. Like put it up like that. I'm just trying to find ways to like make it look cool. I'm not expecting this to look good, but yeah, you know. Alright, so this is what it's looking like in a minute. If you want, you can change the sky to like night if you want. So it could be like anything. It could be like a night sky. It could be like a galaxy. It could be like a sky. It could be like a sun. It could be like but yeah, just change whatever you want in this to make it look whatever you want that looks appealing to you. So I'm actually gonna change this real quick because I want to make it look kind of like darky goodness, you know. Now I'm going to add a bit of lighting to this because this looks real bad and I don't know why. Well, I do know why, but yeah. Okay, I'm gonna add a light. I'm going to add a sun so it actually looks okay and appealing and yeah. Change its position, probably give it a bit of a shadow. Something like that, maybe. But then again, it's really your personal preference. I think that looks alright. I just want to change the colour of you. Make it blacky, grey. Actually, I'll give you the material of the buildings behind you. So, yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna make it small, actually. A bit small. There you go. Pull it back a bit. Pull it back so it kind of hits the buildings. And there you go. I don't know if that looks good to any of you lot, but this is just a mock-up. I made it in. See the recording time. I made this in 20 minutes. Half of that was me figuring out how to record this. So yeah. Okay, so I've just imported the atmosphere thing, and I'm going to raise it a bit. Wait there. So this is the atmosphere that I have. I'm going to make it a bit smaller because it's a bit too big, and put it there, like that. There. And I'm going to rise it up till it kind of fits here. So as you can see, there is now a kind of atmospheric fill to this thing. Put it a bit higher. There you go. So there's now like an atmosphere, and yeah, if you're wondering what it is, it's literally just I don't know, just like a gas, or like a volume thing. I don't know. I follow the tutorial. But yeah, when you've got this, then yeah, you can literally just render it now. So let's go on to the render settings. Okay, when you have everything in place, or everything you just want in place, then yeah, you can render it. So this is just a mock-up. I'm not using this at all in anything. I'm probably not even going to use these buildings again. I got them from ages ago, bro. I got these models from ages ago and just gave it my own texture from a node. And yeah, I'm going to render this now. Obviously, you don't have to follow all these objects being placed everywhere because you can literally do it all by yourself. With your own ideas, do something that's unique. Then yeah, let's render it. I'll just show you how to render it. Okay, how to render this. I'm doing this in Eevee. Cycles will probably break because it's using lights. Okay, so I'm going to turn ambient occlusion. I'm going to turn on screen space reflection. I'm going to turn on motion blur. Shadows, you want to put it high bit depth unless you have poo-poo PC. Then don't put it on. Viewport, I don't know, 47. I'll put it about 70 there. So this is what it's looking like now, and tell me this doesn't look alright. So yeah, let me go into the render settings. Okay, so I'm keeping it at 1920 by 1080 because that's normally what I render in. I'll put some 30 FPS because I'm a very 30 FPS guy. This is to just time remap it, make it slower or faster. Your temporary file location is where you want it to save to, so I'm going to save it into my downloads. And here is where you want to customize it. So if you want to make it a PNG, and you can render it as an animation, but make it through loads of different PNGs, so it doesn't crash, so you don't lose anything. So if it crashed, then you will still have what you have. But if you're certain it wouldn't crash and you can render this, then just make an FFmpeg. Okay, so now when you've done this, when you've made an FFmpeg, there should be a video little bar that pops up. So I'm going to put this to high quality. I'm putting encoding speed to real time. And yeah, that's all of that done. Okay, so when you've done all the render settings and you've done everything in the system, done everything here, followed all my steps for a good render settings for this, then yeah, you're free to render it. So I'm going to save this first. You should always save before you render, and you want to render animation. See you in 7 years.